Well, isn't this an awkward coincidence? You even have the wine and everything. Hello everyone, this is the Night Watchman here again to make a long-awaited video response to Fringy. Am I the only one who thinks he should have stayed on hiatus? Cause this video is just pure cringe on almost every level. For those who don't know, Fringy is a YouTuber who primarily did gaming videos back in the day before just recently getting into commentary videos. And this specific video in question has me wondering whether or not he understands the core fundamentals that go behind fiction writing. Now, with the added context and the reason behind the making of this video out of the way, this fellow green plague doctor is about to get a taste of his own medicine.
Characters are kind of the bedrock of all stories, aren't they? I don't know that there is such a thing as a story without characters unless the universe itself counts as a character, and if so, somebody really ought to ask him how he's doing every now and then. It probably gets lonely being literally everything, and plus he's put on a few kilograms over the last 2 billion years.
Did you just assume the universe's gender? Oh my god, triggered!
But what with all gyms being inside of his bulbous mass, I don't know if that's really a realistic option.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with being on the thick side, Fringy. It's a major turn-on for some people.
Even though this fact seems self-evident, I don't know that I've ever been able to identify a set of unchanging essential elements to good character writing.
I can name a lot right off the top of my head. One essential element that if you want to tell a story with any amount of depth, it's important that regardless on your character's morality, that he or she responds in a realistic fashion to the conflict at hand, learns appropriately from that conflict, and grows from it. We all gain new skills the more we grow and develop Fringy. After all, we all learn over time to tie our own shoes, ride a bike, and otherwise learn important skills to provide some benefit to our well-being. That is unless your character is a non-human space alien, but I'm assuming we're talking about human characters here.
One of the most often cited pieces of writing advice is that characters must change over the course of a narrative. By story's end, a character can't be the same person they were at the beginning, lest the reader or viewer wonder why they even tagged along for the adventure. After all, character development is good, right? We like it when characters are forced to reassess their values and grow as a result. Plus, most good stories feature characters who change, so surely character development is essential to good stories.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty straightforward reason why character development is important. But of course, as we later see, he apparently doesn't want change because it embarrasses him somehow.
Being the self-aggrandizing and contrarian prick that I am, I kinda don't agree with this perspective. And it's not just because I myself am incapable of changing and therefore believe that the world should accommodate my shitty habits. No, it's definitely not that.
Ah, I see you are resorting to self-deprecation to absolve yourself of accountability and put up a lazy facade of faux modesty. Don't get me wrong, self-deprecation can be funny, I'm sure. In fact, I joke all the time with my friends about how much of an effeminate weenie I am. Well, most often, it's used as a lazy way to project responsibility onto others by telling the audience that you're aware of your faults, but you don't care enough to address them in any meaningful way. As a matter of fact, this is why I have far more respect for people who are merely ignorant of their faults, because they at least have some excuse, than people that just want to feel constantly guilty for any sense of pride and self-esteem they may have in themselves, and it's annoying as it is pathetic.
My answer to the question of whether characters must change for their story to be compelling would be the following. Probably, but not necessarily, so therefore no. Does that make sense?
I honestly think you should have done a lot more planning before you had the gall to speak authoritatively on something you have no experience in yourself. At least I wrote a book so I can justifiably talk from experience here when it comes to writing compelling stories, but this video just is terrible from the start already, fellow plague doctor.
I think it does, and if it doesn't, I'd say that's on you. I mean, why should I have to explain myself?
Chill the fuck out, Bill O'Reilly.
We'll do it live! Fuck it! Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
However, the fact that there exist good stories in which the main character is static would mean that it's not exactly a hard and fast rule, right?
Also, I'm not sure if it's a mask or part of your face. If it's a mask, how do your eyes seem to be moving on their own? Unless you're not wearing eye protection, which is a must in this profession. Yellow pupils though, I don't know, looks like giant yellow cataracts are covering them, and it's freaky when I can't tell where your face starts and your mask begins. You're smooth. Beaked. Serious. Moving on.
Most sitcoms feature static characters, and I don't think I'm comfortable with committing to the position that sitcoms are inherently inferior to drama.
Well, I would say a hard and fast rule. It all depends on your target audience. If you are, for example, making a cartoon for children, having flat, simplistic characters would be enough to keep them entertained. If you are writing a story for adults, however, they are going to want characters with some depth and oomph to them, and they will expect the characters to develop and learn over time as they progress.
Stories are modeled after life, and life is a comedy.
No, I'm pretty sure life is life.
Master Chief from Halo is another, perhaps more apt example of a static character present in a good story.
What?
So you are telling me Master Chief is a static character? Have you played any of the Halo games? I'm talking 1 through 3 here, not the poorly written fanfic continuation. Well, not much else to respond to other than him reaffirming his previous position on character development, but Fringy, you don't know what you're talking about half the time, just stop. Also, no!